Hello, this is Meg from Flow Financial Planning. Welcome to this month's video. Not sure I actually published one last month, but close enough. Today's video is inspired by a recent trip I took to Houston. I spoke on a panel at Grace Hopper there. And afterwards I spent a couple days with my brother who lives in Houston, so it was a nice tax-deductible trip to see the family. And when he and I were hanging out, we were sort of getting our respective nerds on. He's an IT nerd, I'm a finance nerd. And so I was talking to him about his emergency fund, because, that's what brothers and sisters talk about. And I suggested to him that he might consider putting his emergency fund, which is sitting in his, brick and mortar bank savings account. I suggested that he consider moving it to a high yield online account. Right, that seemed like an easy way to, improve his finances. And so he immediately sat down, because of course, he's got his laptop and various mobile devices sort of attached to him, and immediately started looking on bankrate.com, which is where I send all my clients to look at what interest rates he could get. And I also mentioned this service called Max My Interest, which is a service that will actually move your money around from bank to bank depending on who's offering the highest interest rate. And he discovered that with Max My Interest, that means you have to open up a bank account at all of these variety of banks ahead of time so that the service can actually move your money around. And we started having a discussion about which of the bank accounts listed on bankrate.com would be the best. And eventually I realized, oh my God, for the amount of money that this is actually going to earn him, we are having a stupidly long, involved discussion. I mean, moving his emergency fund from where it is to one of these, better places was probably going to earn him like $200 extra after tax every year. If it's a simple, transaction to make, great. $200 is $200. I'm not going to sneeze at that. But it did make me think about sort of how we spend our limited time and psychic energy on our finances, right? Like in any other realm of life, there are things where you get a big bang for your buck, and there are things where you get a small bang for your buck. And when it comes to your finances, I really want you to be spending that limited time and energy on things that give you a big bang for your buck. And it's a pretty short list, actually. For everyone, regardless of sort of your career, your financial situation, spending less and saving more are going to be the two biggest determinants of your financial success and your financial strength. After that, for people who work in the tech industry, understanding your stock compensation plans is something you really need to do. You can waste a lot of money on companies' stock plans if you don't understand how they work. On the flip side, if you understand how they work and you do it well, you can save thousands of dollars in taxes. And if the company's stock does well, you can leapfrog closer to your financial goals. The other thing I thought of that's worth spending some time and energy on, is your investments. I do not mean becoming obsessive and investing in individual stocks and reading the Wall Street Journal boring parts. I mean basically two things. Make sure your investments are broadly diversified. Do not be invested only or mostly in tech stocks. Do not be invested only in stocks in general. You probably need some bonds and safer investments in there. So make sure your money's smeared out sort of over the whole stock market, and a little bit into low-risk investments also. And then secondly, when it comes to investments, costs. Keep the costs low. That's one of the few things we can actually control about our investments. It's pretty impossible to tell you just in this format what is too expensive. But if you force me, which clearly you are, I would say if you own a mutual fund or an exchange-traded fund, don't pay more than 0.5 percentage point a year in what's called the expense ratio in order to own it. So there you go. Reduce spending, increase savings, understand your stock compensation plans, and make sure your investments are broadly diversified and low cost. There might be a few more things that you should spend your limited time and energy on figuring out, but not too many more. There are plenty of things to waste your time and energy on. For example, spending too much time and energy getting that high yield online bank account. If it's super easy, great. Get that extra few $100 per year. But don't worry too much about it if you don't. Gaming systems like credit cards, or like cell phone services. My brother does this a lot, which is what gave me this idea. You know, Verizon will offer like, switch to us and we'll give you a free this, that, or other thing. But it's a pretty involved process a lot of the time. And so I bet you if you calculate your hourly rate, it's going to be depressingly small. And then you've spent all this like energy and stress on this project that didn't actually net you that much money. What are some other things? Oh yeah, employee benefits, right? There are a few that are really important. Long-term disability, your 401k, you know, maybe maternity benefits, that sort of thing. But then there's this like endless list of piddly little benefits like reduced gym membership, or, you know, tax-free, you know, commuter costs, or, you know, legal services. For the most part, like, yeah, they might save you a few $100 a year, but that's neither going to make nor break your financial future. So if you don't enroll in those, or you're screwing up and you enroll in it and you don't use the service anyways, don't worry about it. Save all that mental energy and recrimination to work on something that's going to get you a little more return financially. Spending time and energy obsessing over investment choices. So not worth it. So much research shows, in fact, that the more you touch your investments, the worse you do. And of course, then there's the whole, like, I'm so stressed out, I can't enjoy life because I'm thinking about my investments all the time. Yuck. And if you do get around to spending effort to reduce your spending, which I absolutely recommend that you at least review your spending, right? Like, make sure that what you're spending money on actually gives you satisfaction. But maybe don't try to reduce spending on things that you spend money on every day, right? And I say this from sort of an energetic perspective. Wouldn't it be easier to spend $500 less on one travel event per year than to try to not buy coffee every single day, and it will save you the exact same amount of money? So I can't list all the examples of stuff that it's not worth spending your time and energy trying to work on. But before you do start spending your time and energy on your financial life, take a moment to think about how much return you're actually going to get financially for your time and psychic energy, and really try to do the things with the big bang for your buck first, and basically screw everything else. It's just not going to have that much lasting impact. So again, this is Meg from Flow Financial Planning. I hope this helps you spend less time and energy and get more return on what you do spend in your financial life. And I will see you next month. Bye.